Here.
Barons,
Here.
Mattson,
Here.
Jazz,
Yes.
and Jones is absent with notice.
Any additions to the agenda?
Motion to move new business after applications, agreements, hearings, resolutions, and ordinances.
Second. Any discussion?
Just so we can get Josh out of here.
Need to vote on that? Okay, motion second, yes. Jake?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Yes. Cindy?
Yes.
I'm a yes.
Then do we need a motion to approve the agenda? Or was that kind of?
Be a one.
Wasn't that your motion? Approve the agenda with the change?
Let's just say that.
I think that sounded that way to me, approve the agenda with the change.
And approve it.
And approve.
Perfect. We got a motion to approve the minutes of our previous meeting for 10-1.
So moved.
Second.
Mattson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Chad?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. All right, approved bills submitted for payment?
I make a motion to approve the bills as submitted.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Bowen?
Yes.
Mattson?
Yes.
Jazz?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
And this time we have an opportunity for public input on non-agenda items. Seeing none?
Can I throw one in there? Something really small? I noticed with our, I've been thinking about this a lot, so with our city councilor emails, it's, hartfordward2@gmail. I'm just curious why we don't use the same domain as our website to make it a little bit more integrated, more professional. I'm just making a comment, not looking at necessarily for a solution, but just a thought.
We only get so many emails with our domain, so that's the reason
Okay,
everybody's not on it, yeah, the same
Okay.
one.
Okay, you went to the free one.
This way, yes.
Yeah, otherwise they're like 10.
Yes.
I think they're up to like 13 or 14 bucks a month now if you wanna get them all on the same domain.
Yep.
Per email.
About
Yeah,
that.
it would have cost extra, yeah, to put them on, so.
Don't ask me how I know. Alright. Anything further? Okay. Moving on, we need to review, approve the agreement for the oversizing of utilities. So we're gonna move,
Yeah.
Over your warrant.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
okay, on that too.
Okay. Alright. Teresa?
So, we discussed this a couple of meetings ago. We have a developer who's going to be putting in storage units, condos in Western Meadows Addition in the very far southwest corner. Previously, the preliminary plans for Western Meadows, an easement was identified that would go through there, basically go to the interstate, and that could be a future connection point for going across the interstate and getting city services across the interstate. Like I said, this developer has purchased the lot, and we've been talking with them, ISG and myself have had conversations. They are willing, basically, they give us the easement wide enough, and they're willing to work with the city on oversizing utilities there. Obviously, they would pay for the size of pipes, water and sewer pipes they need to service their development, but then the city would pay for the difference in cost too. The water needs to be upsized and the sewer needs to be extended. Like I said, we would pay, they would pay for what services their development, just like any other developer. We would pay for the difference in costs of upsizing them so we could get future connection services across the interstate.
And we have already annexed the land across the interstate.
Yes, yeah, so at some point we will need them.
It's really.
Whether that happens in 2, 5, 10 years, I don't know, but this would, at this point, would be our only connection
Be
point.
a lot cheaper now than in 10 years. Or 2 years.
Yes, and yeah, and that's the whole point of if we get this now and upsize it now, obviously everybody knows nothing gets cheaper in time, so it would be, probably in our best interest to pay for the upsizing now. If we do it in the future, if they just put in what they need for the future, you're gonna have to dig them up, re-put in the pipes. I mean, it's obviously gonna be a larger expense.
We've done this in the past. quite a
Yeah,
few
we've done
projects.
that with, other
The-
developments.
The industrial park across the road to the southeast corner there, that's serviced by, 'cause I know they've got sewer out there and they've got rural water, right?
Rural
Yeah,
water and
yeah,
septic system.
Yeah, there's no city services. Right now, we're not across the interstate at all, yeah, for city services.
Make a motion to
Yes.
approve the agreement for oversizing utilities. Right?
Is that the most strategic location to come across the interstate, like
About-
long-term?
About the only one we got.
Only one we
Really?
have because everything else has been developed,
Sure.
you know, or,
I'll second, by the way.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Sorry, I probably
Yeah,
don't.
you're good, yeah.
Will a lift station be required on the south side of the interstate then, for any development there at this time?
yeah.
Okay.
That's not okay.
I mean, if you're thinking really long-term in any development, or any annexations to the east of that potentially would permit sewer to go into the east and gravity flow quite a ways, correct? If we're pushing it towards
Some
the,
lift station
You'd end up with a
somewhere.
lift station at some point,
Two
yeah,
little
you
hills
wouldn't, you wouldn't
To
pump
get
it
it up
across
to
the
the
interstate,
wastewater
to
treatment
go back
facility.
south of the interstate, yeah. Long term, we just keep it on the south side
yeah.
and directly.
Sure, down gravity feed
Yep.
down.
So we're gonna have the developer do this, and then we'll reimburse them, is that how it's gonna
Sure,
set up?
yeah, exactly, they'll do it with their project, they'll put in the larger size pipe and extend the services, and yeah, this is basically a reimbursement
Okay,
agreement.
gotcha.
And I'm just asking questions for the sake of asking them. Are we gonna wanna bring sewer across there? Like, would it be better to keep the sewer just on the south side of the interstate and just run from the, obviously it's a bigger cost at some point, but when that gets developed, would it be better to run the sewer directly to there rather than worry about trying to bore underneath? Like, would we just want the water oversized
it's-
versus the sewer?
I think a lot will depend on what develops and when it develops and how it develops.
Yeah.
There might be such a thing in a small lift station with a direct bore underneath to one of the manholes might be the best way to go for a while. But I think eventually it'll go on the south side, they
Yeah.
will stay down to the plant.
And on that lot, the sewer is not being oversized, it's still an 8-inch sewer, which is the minimum required for the state. It's just being extended, so it's closer to that right away, so that if there's a temporary connection, call it, from that, our already annexed line on the south side, they can directly connect.
Sure.
Prior to a long-term solution being installed on the south side.
So we'll have, since it's our our stuff they're putting in, I guess we're reimbursing, we'll have a chance to, approve the plans and everything, or is it pretty straightforward, or?
We've already reviewed and.
Oh, you have, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha, all right.
And when they do want their reimbursement, obviously they're gonna have to submit cost estimates and, you know, show the city what,
Perfect.
and which will be reviewed just to justify, you know, make sure
Good.
things are there for you.
Yeah, and it actually looks like the sewer part of it's only $3,600 right here, so.
Yeah, so they're extending that, and the water will be oversized.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you for answering all my questions. I'm ready to vote now.
No further discussion? Call the vote, Jazz,
Yes.
Barons,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
Bowen,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. Next, review approve the resolution 2024-14 special assessment for parcel 59074. Information's in our packet pertaining to, just the past items.
Has there been any, communication from the property owner, or I mean, just nothing, invoices sent and that's
No,
it?
I'd say every month.
Every month I send them a
nothing.
statement and tack on a late fee and.
Okay,
We've consistently filed a lien in cases where,
Yeah, so, if you have any, if you wanna like have any outstanding bills and we wanna assess anything against a property, it has to go to the county by October 1st, so that's what, or not October, sorry, November 1st, so that's why in October, if we have any outstanding bills such as this, we usually pass an assessment. And this is the only large one we have really outstanding that has no payment, and so this would get, like I said, go to the county. It would be basically a lien against their property, so if at any point they wanna transfer it, sell it, or whatnot, you know, city will get our payment at some point.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-14 special assessment roll for parcel 59074.
second.
Any discussion? Seeing none? Bowen,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Barons,
yeah,
Mattson,
yes.
and Jazz.
Yes.
I'm a yes. All right, new business, contract extension request for 12th and Oaks project.
Hello? Is it okay if I approach to hand you guys out some material?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Just don't get too close.
All right,
Some
all
of us, I don't bite, some of the other people.
I'm not sick, so.
Who are you talking about, John?
Well, I'm not gonna say any names.
Thanks, sir. So, I'll go through this briefly here after I get this handed out.
Do you want, who won who for Arlen
Oh, that ship has sailed.
Oh, okay. I just don't want to let you know.
He's useless right now.
I guess I have two.
Do you have,
Anybody else?
but I'll take those.
Yep, thank you. Okay, so I'm Josh Norton, I'm from Alliance Construction, just here to discuss possible extension of our substantial completion date for the 12th and Oaks project. The pamphlets, or the packet I handed out to you is just a couple pages from the proposal for this project that we used to bid the work. So as you can see, the section that's in front of you on page 1 is SC 405, which talks about weather delays. And specifically about abnormal weather conditions, hence large rain events, etc., that could delay the work. Now, we did have some days like that this year. Obviously, everyone remembers June, a pretty bad month for this whole half of the state and other states. But the second page is actually where I'm drawing my reasoning for why we think there are some delays that impacted this work. Specifically, 405C1, which is highlighted there. Severe and unavoidable natural catastrophes such as fires, floods, epidemics, and earthquakes. Now granted, the city of Hartford did not experience what a lot of the other state experienced with the drastic floods, the roads getting washed away, houses getting destroyed, etc., thankfully. However, the town itself did experience a drastic increase in rainfall. Average rainfall for Hartford, based on state data for the city, or for the month of June, averages around 4 inches of rain. And we had 13.5 inches, over 300% of the normal rainfall, in a very short amount of time. And as you can see from some of the pictures that follow after that I had attached with you, not only was several days of rainfall averaging, or accumulating over 5 inches on one day, another 2 inches on the next day, and another 2 inches at the end of July. I mean, even the president declared this whole half of the state as a flooding disaster, getting national relief for us. So that first rain gauge picture is from June 21st. That was one of the heaviest days of rain, June 20th and 21st. So we had almost 5 inches accumulated on the job site. That in itself set us back. And then on June 24th, again, almost another 2 inches of rain. Now from then on until the end of July, the rainfall was minimal, thankfully. But there were some other rain delays during that time. And as you can see, end of July, another 2 inches of rain. That last picture I'll bring your attention to though, that's July 20th. While the month of June did have that 13.5 inches of rain, the rest of the summer was fairly normal, except for a few scattered days. However, because that rain has to go somewhere, it all didn't leave the site. This is the conditions that we were left with on a day-to-day basis while putting in the utilities out there. That is not foreseen, that's not a foreseen sort of soil condition to work in. We did have soil reports to bid the project with. This area right here was not shown to have water-bearing soils. The only water-bearing soils were up near the water tower, and we did run into water up there in the subgrade, which was told to us and was expected up there. However, all the way down into 12th Street at the south end of the project, this is what happened after one night, coming back in the morning to a trench that is full of water. And that was every day when they were doing the sanitary sewer, and most days putting in the water. So even though the rain events didn't continue after the month of June for the most part, those soil conditions were super saturated and it slowed down production unavoidably, because you can't really fight Mother Nature, you can just deal with her. So that's my main purpose in requesting continuation or extension of the substantial completion date from, I believe it's October 18th to basically the end of October, that last Friday. I have spoken with our paving subcontractors. They are currently halfway through and preparing to finish the 12th and Oaks intersection, which is all concrete, by Thursday. And in order to give you the best possible road, that concrete has to cure about a week, so 7 days. And so asphalt is scheduled to be coming in end of next week, beginning of the last week of the month, and that should be suitable time, according to Blacktop paving, to get the road paved in order to obtain substantial completion. So that's my reasoning for requesting some additional days. Anybody have any questions?
Josh, I got one for, so, are you guys gonna continue to get behind the curb filled and that stuff all wrapped up? in
Yep.
the Next, as this time?
Before asphalt goes down, we
Need to get something done,
have it all backfilled. Yep.
Will you be rushing even with the 10 days?
According to the PM over at Blacktop, he says it's through right about Halloween. Would be, so that last full week of October.
Appreciate you providing some insight on that, it's helpful.
What work will be remaining once the paving is done?
Punch list work, any sort of final grade adjustments behind the curb. Adjustments should all be handled by Blacktop paving, so the street work will be finished. Outside of the street, I don't recall anything outside of, if you had any punch lists already drawn up, or we haven't gone through that. So.
I'd like to make a motion. Make a motion to approve the contract extension. I'm trying to find it in my file here. I believe it was, can anybody remind me of the date? The 28th?
The 18th.
It was the
Yeah.
18th, so.
Yeah.
The first
I'd like-
is-
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the extension for 10 more days for this contract at Secretary Alliance. Motion.
Second.
Can I ask a question? Is that working days or is that?
Well, that's a good question.
Because they
I
have been
don't
working on
know.
Saturdays too, so,
Well,
What's that?
they have been working on Saturdays too, so do we include that?
So I mean,
So what is the date
Probably
you're
on working
requesting,
days,
I
yeah.
guess?
It would be till the end, the last Friday of the month.
So that'd be
So,
November
which
first.
is the 28th?
So November first,
Or
Is
the
that-
31st?
or do you want Thursday, the 31st of October?
Thursday, the 31st of October.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
I would like to, I guess I need to rescind that then. Is that correct?
I don't know if you finished.
I don't think I have. Tom, what do you think I should do here?
Well, it was seconded already, was it not?
It was seconded.
So I'll make a motion to amend your,
Okay, I'm gonna make a
Previous
motion to amend my original motion
to the,
to extending the contract to October 31st.
I second again.
Thank you.
so then vote on the amendment first and then the original motion. Mr. Mayor, or Mr. President, whichever you prefer.
In my mind went somewhere completely else as I was thinking of this in a real world scenario and practicality and whatnot, so. We had a motion and a second, it's been amended, to allow the Alliance to basically extend their contract through, 10/31 of 2024. Do you have any discussion? Call the vote. Mattson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Jazz?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Now the motion is amended.
Oh, yeah, we gotta do the
Right.
original, yeah.
Well, they made a motion to amend the motion, so
Yeah.
now they gotta act on the original motion as amended.
What would we do without the town?
We invited you tonight.
Just put it
Oh, that's what
down.
I just wanna give Karen a test on the minutes to see how this,
Yeah.
Horn,
Yes.
Barons,
Yes.
Bowen,
Yes.
Bev,
Yes.
Mattson,
Yes,
and I'm yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming, Josh.
thank you.
Sorry, I almost crashed and burned that.
it's all Craig's fault, he's the one who mentioned the word.
I want good concrete.
Yep, really nice.
What's that, yeah?
It's curing. The road is totally complete by then.
Oh, I was just thinking about how contracts, bid dates, all that. Okay. Moving on, we have our Hartford Area Fire and Rescue Report, Chief Brian Schumacher.
Good evening, counselors.
Good evening.
Seems strange, it's like I've talked to you like in the last few months. Not a big gap here. Just kind of recap for September, our call volume was down a little bit, 24 total calls in September, 12 of those in Hartford here, so. Luckily, October thus far, volume has stayed down a little bit, knocking on wood, as dry as it is. We haven't seen the big outbreak of burning yet, so. Training coming through in October, EMS for training on pediatric cardiac arrest. Fire, we acquired a house that will be burning down just west of Wall Lakes. We did some training on it last month. We'll be training it this month again, wall breaching, hose deployment, and ultimately burning the house down, looking at fire flow and how fire acts within a structure like that. And then our joint training, that was the night of Fire Prevention Week and about 3 other calls that day, so we ended up not having training, but putting trucks and equipment back together that night, so. So with that, we had a very successful fire prevention day at the elementary and high school on October 9th. Good turnout amongst our staff. Very good response again, and thanks to the schools allowing us in there. We had the county burn trailer in at the elementary. We did our live burn bedroom simulator at the high school, and it still amazes the students at how quick a small bedroom setting can start from a small fire and go to flashover state in a matter of minutes. So I think it's pretty eye-opening for the kids. One thing not on the list that I recall we have coming up in October is Halloween night. We'll have our glow necklaces out again for the kids. That seems to be a big hit and keeps them a little more visible when running around the community here. So,
Good idea.
so we do have all our hose testing completed for the year. We had a certain amount that did not pass testing, had to get replaced. We did have one of our Wildman trucks on Saturday while out at a fire. The pump went out of service on that and found out today it is terminal, so we have to replace a pump on that truck. So hopefully we'll have that back tomorrow here at some point.
What's that cost?
It's probably gonna be between $6,000 and $7,000. But cheaper than a new Wildland at the moment and much shorter lead time.
Much shorter. Excellent.
So with that, what questions do you have for me?
Good year.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Looks good.
I've been getting my phone blown up by the weather service for all these, fire. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
You look at the dust, the farmer's harvesting out in the field, even corn, how much dust it's putting up. And, we responded to one combine fire, burned up. Luckily, no major field or grass fires thus far, but, it's a tinderbox out there.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Good night.
Economic Development Director reports. Amy Farr.
Thank you. Most important on here is right now, myself, Teresa, Wynn, and the mayor are working on a 2024 ballot question forum coming up on October 25th. It's Friday from 7 to 9 at the West Central School Auditorium. We do have different measures and amendments that we're looking at. It's IM 28, IM 29, Amendment G, Amendment H, and Referred Law 21. And we have a representative on the pro side and on the con side that will be present to take some questions from a moderator. And then any questions that would be needed after the event, they would be able to stick around and answer those for the audience. We've sent out one press release, another one will be going out here hopefully tomorrow. I've got to update it a little bit first. And then we will be ready for that event. As you can see in my report, the HIDF did do their election, and in there it states who was elected for the new 3-year terms and 1-year appointment, and then who are the officers for this beginning of the 2025 year. Other than that, that is currently my report. If you have any questions.
Could you provide an email at some point this week to the council on the, maybe go back 8 years? Since I've been on council, maybe 10 if you want. Who's all been on the HADF board from the community? Or, I mean, I don't care where they're from.
I can go back as far as I have data for it. Absolutely. That's it.
All right. Any questions for Amy? Thank you. Chamber report. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning, yeah, good evening.
I have my report in your file. Some of the highlights that I wanted to touch on was a gratitude day was a good success. We had several volunteers out and about and handing out cookies. We are looking for 2 more ambassadors on our ambassador committee, so if you know of somebody that might be a little bit extroverted, I guess, and comfortable talking to people, that would be great. Chris Sheets from Black Tie has recently joined the team, and he's a good addition to the group. We're using the Discover Hartford app to do the People's Choice Award for Trunk or Treat, which I'm super excited to see how that plays out. If you don't have the app, download it, check it out. I'm trying to use it a little bit more. We're trying to push some things to it. There's also a link on there right now to, I've just been driving around town and noticing all of the Halloween decor and the fall decor and just the fun the Hartford folks have with that. So I have a little link on there where you can post a picture if you go by, like the Yellow Brick Road up there on off of Highway 38. Post a picture and then it will show up on our social media. Trying to get the use of that app up. What else? Pickleball court ribbon cutting was on the 1st. It was a beautiful afternoon. The courts are open and they are always full, at least when I'm driving by. And I think that's all I have to share.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Lynn?
How do you advertise the app? How do you get the word out on the app?
I've been pushing out on social media. I pushed something out about the app and the fall Halloween event on the app, to go out and check out the app. So there was a link out there to download the app, and then showed a picture of what I was doing with the fall and Halloween projects. That was just out on Facebook and so Instagram. But other than that, it's just word of mouth. At the event, we're gonna have like business cards. We're gonna hand those out to everyone so that they download the QR code. So they download the app and then vote for their favorite trunk that day.
You could probably do that for Christmas too.
Yeah.
Decoration.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's a
so,
great way to get people involved in the app, that's a good idea, to
yeah,
push the voting through it.
yeah,
Excellent.
Thanks.
sure,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on. The city engineer reports. Michael.
Good evening, everyone. Project updates on the water rec facility. Working on the equipment, the diffusers, valves, all of that within the aeromod structure, the items that actually aerate the sludge and waste that actually help treat it. That install is currently underway. The UV and cascade structure itself is complete. Just we'll be waiting on some of that equipment in the future. As you're probably aware and noticed, they are making great progress on the trunk install. They're all already out by the dog park. So Guy Mickelson opened last Friday afternoon, I believe, and then closed Railroad this last Monday. So very similar signage and notification as we did for Railroad, or for Mickelson rather there. And they should be about to the connection. Oh, they're a little slow through the low areas where the soil's a little wetter, but they're making great progress. So
They're planning on being there Thursday afternoon, Friday morning early, and then they're starting the water on Friday.
making great progress. And then at the operations building, just continue to work on the interiors, floors, interior piping, all of that. So that's the update for the water rec facility. As Craig mentioned, they're on the water main project. They're gearing up to get going there. After the pre-construction meeting last 2 Tuesdays ago, rather, on the first, reviewed the contractor's bonds, insurance, and prepped the notice to proceed, and have sent that off to the DANR for their review, and we'll provide that once it's been reviewed and approved as part of the funding. Additionally, did update down there under the construction costs, just to note we did solicit quotes last week from AT&T Geotech. Geotech was ultimately selected. Their fee is approximately $4,000. It's a bit of a range based on the actual number of tests. But city staff opted to go with Geotech just because they are the ones currently doing testing on the water rec facility. So they're frequently in the area and are aware of the soils there. So both those are very similar. And Western Avenue still just awaiting a date for bid from the state. So that is all I have for updates. If there are any questions, happy to answer.
Seeing none? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was nice that Western, or the Mickelson went really fast.
Yeah.
That was a pain in the butt to drive around all the time.
Sounds for you.
I get from my house to the, like, high school, you gotta go all. My little Greg. Thank you for moving, for what you're part of moving it through fast. Glad they did a good job.
What's the piece of equipment sitting on the corner there?
Yeah, there's like a generator sitting on
That
the corner.
that
They
big white
like
box.
move it soon?
They're,
It's back, it's in a bad spot, I know it's
So
not
it's-
huge.
They've got a tube or a hose going into a
They're
standing water,
dewatering
correct? I assume they're dewatering just some of what they got in the trench.
to keep it from coming down at them. So
I wonder if there's any way they can slide it 5 feet to the south.
we could certainly have a movement.
Yeah.
They just,
Like,
I mean,
just
it's,
even a little bit would
It
make a
blocks
difference.
you a little
like
bit.
if you are thinking enough, you don't stop, but a lot of people, their shop is right in the
Site.
sideline.
The sideline, okay, yep.
That's kind of.
I'll bring that up to them.
Intersection.
Well, and it's, like you said, it's not that, it's a terrible intersection.
It's terrible,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
But
It's.
people
it's
aren't
just-
always that cognizant of,
Yeah.
Right, myself included.
I know the first time I stopped, I'm like, wait a minute.
Can I back up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that problem where I live, so sorry about you.
Just make a nice stop there at the end of the road.
And, all right, thank you. Public Works Superintendent Report, Craig Wagner.
Yeah, nothing in streets, water, one thing Michael probably is not aware of either, but, on that Highway 38 project, I'm meeting with Justin tomorrow. We might be looking at relocating that water main just a little bit. Right now, it's planned to be in the ditch. We did that so if we had two different contractors, it wouldn't be one of them come through without tearing up that road and getting that put in. But now that we have the same contract, we're gonna put it more where it should be at instead of down in the ditch there. That'll help. We don't have to move some signs, we don't have to tear culverts out, so there's some good benefits to it. So I'm meeting with him tomorrow at 8:30. We'll just go over it and see if we think it's a good choice or not. Won't be any changes in the price of the project, probably cheaper for anything, so. So I'll be doing that tomorrow morning. Lead service lines, we're working on that. I see in my thing, I put down the middle of October for the deadline. It is actually the middle of November. So we'll be getting those letters sent out. Basically, those letters are gonna be sent out to anybody that we know has a lead service line, or anybody that we are not sure what their service line. So there's two different parts of the lead service line. It's from the main to the curb stop, and then from the curb stop to the meter. There's some 6th, 7th, and 8th, we're 99% positive it's PVC, but we don't have any proof of it. So we're gonna have to hole a few of those spots open and just verify what we got in there, since it was all done at the same time, same contractor. So if we do one, a couple of them on 6th or something like that, and one on 7th, one on 8th, then we can put them down as, you know, PVC or poly or whatever we know it is, whatever we identify it as. Meantime, since it's an unknown, they will get letters saying that we're not sure what it is, and there's a letter that the state's put out there that will be putting it, tagged along with it to send out to them, so. And this has to be done every year until they get changed or identified. So that'll be an ongoing thing, and the way it sounds right now, the Biden administration is going to have that, they want everything replaced in 10 years. So we are fortunate, and we've only got 11 service lines. Hopefully the homeowners will take it upon themselves to look at it and think about it and replace it. There is some grants
Would
out.
insurance cover that? I mean,
No,
okay.
no, there is some grant out there right now, but if you apply for the grant, you have to replace from the main to the meter. And we know that we've got PVC or poly, from the main to the curb stop, so it makes no sense to cut a street to replace something that's already good. So the grant would not even be something to even think about for that. So hopefully the homeowners will see it and take it upon themselves to look at replacing it or something like that. Or down the road, there might be some other grants out there, something that the city can apply for to get these replaced. But at this point, there's nothing really out there. It's, reasonable, let's put it that way. So that's it for that. Pool, the guys got the plumbing finished up there, they tested it, everything's working good. We got it backfilled, and we're ready for concrete to get put in there, so that'll get that lined up here next week or so, get that all done, have it wrapped up. Sports complex, we are, hopefully this week we'll be putting the sheeting, the steel sheeting on the roof and finishing up the outside of it, get the doors on. The epoxy floors have been done, so they just finished them up today, so we're moving ahead with it. So.
Looks good from the highway.
Looks big from the highway.
It does.
So,
Well, finish it out.
so that's all I got for changes in my report. Anybody has anything for me?
Some feedback about the pickleball courts, just maybe they're being misused. Like pickleball isn't always being played on them. Other things are soccer balls or other.
Yeah, I was out there yesterday, and I don't know the rules with it, but I was out there for an hour with my kids, and I did see, some kids enjoying it, kicking a soccer ball and stuff, and they weren't roughhousing, but
Yeah,
probably a conversation.
I don't know if there's some signage.
You can look into some signage that they specifically use for pickleball courts. or
Is
something.
this kind of in the evenings, you think it's happening? Or
What's that?
Is this kind of happening in the evenings, do you think? We could
Yeah,
maybe
it's
have our
been in the evenings
deputies.
and on the weekends,
Okay.
just when kids aren't in school.
I can pass along to the sheriff's department too and have them keep an eye on it, maybe drive
Sure.
by a little bit more often to.
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
We'll look into some signage in the meantime too. Get some-
Probably would hurt to put in the newsletter or the next communication reminder that it's for pickleball only.
We could put an ordinance or anything in place. I mean, it's gonna be an ongoing issue in my, do you have to?
Everything in the park gets abused, and we fight vandalism with everything just because they're out in the open, so.
Okay.
Well, there won't be any gates on those.
No. Yeah, because you're not gonna be able to lock them. If you lock them, you gotta have somebody unlock them all the time.
Right.
So when they're unlocked, then they're unlocked, and
Yeah.
so wasn't planning to put any gates on them. That can change, that's up to you guys at this point.
Sure.
We weren't planning on doing it, so.
Got it, okay. All right, anything further for Craig? Thank you, Craig. That's great. Our finance officer report, Karen Wilbur.
Family reports in the packet. It's payroll time again, so I've included the attendance chart, so if there's any changes, just make sure and let me know if I missed a date or anything for you. I'll be doing that on October 31st. I'll be processing it November 1st, so let me know by October 21st, or 31st, so. Other than that, my information's all in the packet.
I did not end up going to the annual conference,
Oh, none of the days? Okay,
unfortunately.
I'll update that.
Thank you.
Was a good conference.
That's what I heard. Employees had other plans. All right, thank you, Karen.
Sure.
City Administrator report, Teresa Sidell.
I don't have too much to add to my report either, guys kind of give you an update on the project. We will have, this week, it's planned for this Thursday and Friday to get our upgrades to our AV system in here. They'll come in on Thursday, I'm not sure if they'll get done, but hopefully within Thursday and Friday, we'll get everything up and going, and then we'll of course have to get trained on how to use it, figure out how to use it, but that should be in the works. And then, as mentioned previously, CCOG, I'm working with them to help codify our ordinances. So our municipal ordinance, every time we do an amendment or pass a new ordinance and change, we always gotta see, okay, is this portion been amended here or whatnot? They will put it all into one document again. So if you go on our website, you'll have our municipal ordinance, but then you'll have a list of all these amendments. We got like 100 of them. So it's gonna be nice for staff, the public, you guys, it'll be all put into one document again until we keep amending them again, but at least it'll go into one document. Should have that all looked through and updated by the end of this month. All these ordinances have been passed by the councils and thus, so there's nothing you guys need to approve, but by the end of the month, once we get that, we will get it on the website, and I'll get a new copy in your guys' box as well, so, when you look at something, you don't have to see if it's been amended somewhere else or changed, so that'll be a nice update for us.
How often have you done that?
Hmm?
How often have you done that?
We do it every, I'll say about 3 to 5 years, just depends on how many amendments you get, once you get to 100, that's a lot of changes, so it's nice to have it into one document, so, yeah. So it just kind of depends on how many amendments we could, but maybe about every 3 years, 3 to 5 years, we do it. Like I already mentioned the legislative forum, and, yeah, I would agree, the conference was good, and they had some good topics. As the last day, IM 28, I think there was a lot of good discussion there about that, for the city, so it'll be nice to see at the forum, the pro and the con, and see what the discussion is there. There was, a good one about, First Amendment auditors, so the people you hear going around that come into like city halls or public places and try to get you guys riled up, and how, measures you can put in place, so, like City Hall, they think, it's public property, they can go anywhere they want. Well, essentially they can't, but you have to lock doors, or you have to post signage. If you come into our business office, you'll see we have a sign there that says, staff only, so they couldn't come back like where Jamie is or whatnot, so. Kind of gave us some tips about keeping stuff locked, having signage out, biggest thing is to try to ignore what they're saying, or don't, let them get you riled up, and so that was a really good, presentation there.
They have had them in the area, I know. Just
Yep,
from-
they've been in Del Rapids, they've been in Crooks.
Since really stopped here several years ago, maybe 3 to 4.
We have quite a few years ago,
I think it's just like telling everybody to be calm, because I think there's actually been like altercations, because people don't like them.
right,
Not
and they
necessarily
do stuff to try to,
employees, but
try
like
to
just
get
community
you
people,
upset.
like, why is this guy standing?
and they're
anywhere?
filming them, and so, they have the right to film, and, and they did, though, another good pointer is, sometimes we have stuff out on our counter, you know, sometimes tell me they can zoom in on stuff, so if someone comes in, pick up that stuff up, or turn it over, or just things you wouldn't normally think about, so I've got a few tips kind of go over with staff
That's
if that
good.
happens, because they've been close to us, and,
Can we post a no solicitors sign? Is that something that they recommend, or is that just for?
no, because they're not really selling anything, so they
From what I
just, you
understand,
know,
they would
more.
like set up a camera at the end of the block and just
It could be out
sit there all
And
day,
take nights and look for opportunity.
wait for some, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so,
I've seen the reels where they go in and they're actually in front of everybody.
that's just it,
Yeah.
most of them will take their,
Yeah.
the cell phone, they
Yeah,
said, and just, and they might sit there for an hour filming you, and just, so.
Yeah.
I thought that one was very interesting, they had a good one on, AI, artificial intelligence, and
Oh,
how that can be working in the workplace, so some good information. That's all.
interesting.
Besides that, you have any questions from me? Okay.
All right, moving on. Any old business? Seeing none?
None.
Need a motion to move to executive session, is that for legal and personnel?
I'll make a motion to go to executive for legal and personnel.
Do we have a second?
Oh, yeah, second. Sorry.
All right. I'll call the vote, Mattson?
Yeah.
Bowen?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Jazz?
Yes.
And Keel is a yes.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah.